Good morning. We're just going to give folks a minute to come in from the waiting room. And as a reminder, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are appearing before testifying before the board. Give just another moment to make sure folks are in and their audio is on. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Wednesday, June 29th, 2022. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to certain temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing will be recorded and posted to the city of Boston's website. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Thank you, Danny. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm chair of the Boston Licensing Board, and today I'm pleased to be joined by Commissioner Liam Curran and Commissioner Kiana Saxon.
Thank you. And once again, as a reminder, please do mute yourself unless or until you are appearing or testifying before the board. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly. I will call each item in the order that it appears on this morning's agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the applicant. You will then make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the chairwoman and commissioners. Following the questions, there will be testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives. Please limit your testimony to 2 minutes and please state your name, address, and affiliation, if any. I will begin with item number 1 on this morning's agenda, now calling AHL Group LLC, doing business as El Jefe's Taqueria of Northeastern, located at 269 Huntington Ave, holder of a common vitular license, has petitioned to change the closing hour of the licensed business from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. 7 days per week. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Hi, Danny. Chris Tracy and John Schall here on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Tracy. Mr. Schall, you may proceed.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Chairwoman Joyce, and thank you, members of the board, for allowing us to be here today and for your service to the city of Boston. Again, my name is Chris Tracy from O'Neill & Associates with a business address of 18 Tremont Street in Boston. I'm joined by Mr. John Schall, who will introduce himself in a moment. We are here for 269 Huntington Avenue, El Jefe's. Respectfully asking the board for an extension of the closing time from 2 to 3 a.m. We believe there is a need and a desire from the community for this. We believe the operator has an outstanding track record of a safe, clean, and well-liked establishment in the Fenway Symphony area. We engaged in a community process, started late winter, early spring, where the Office of Neighborhood Services, Molly Griffin, who was no longer there, advised us on folks to reach out to. We reached out to a number of institutions and community groups, including Northeastern, including Fenway Civic and Symphony, reached out to a number of businesses in the area, stated a desire to mitigate and minimize any potential impacts, but obviously respectfully asked those folks for support as we went forward. We reached out to Boston Police District D4, spoke to CSO Bill Sline a few times on this to let him know what was going on. And again, anything we could do for the police, we made full known to help the operations. Again, El Jefe has a strong track record here of a safe and clean environment, so that was noted. We submitted a packet to Danny Green and the board on June 1st. This includes 10 letters of support from local businesses and nonprofits, including the Greater Boston YMCA's flagship location directly across the street on Huntington Ave. There's also approximately 600 handwritten signatures of support. Those were gathered in store. There's 1,900 signatures online of support, 1,200 of which are Boston addresses. Again, the applicant, the restaurant does not sell alcohol and has no desire to sell alcohol. And again, this request came from many of their customers, many of whom are first responders and nurses coming off late shifts and have asked for a better quality meal open till 3 in the morning. So I'll hand it over to John, but again, we are respectfully asking for the board's consideration for this matter. Thank you. John, you want to take it from there?
Yes, my name's John Shaw. I'm the owner of El Jefe's Taqueria at 269 Huntington Ave. My home address is 19 Hilliard Street, Cambridge, Mass. I just wanted to just say a couple of things. One is that Al Jefes is a good neighbor. We're a good neighbor at Huntington Ave. We're a good neighbor every place that we've located. We work with Fenway Cares, the food assistance program from the Fenway Civic Association. We work with Bridge Over Troubled Waters in the downtown crossing area. We're actually doing a 2-night celebration on August 6th and 7th. We've opened 7 Al Jefes during the pandemic over the last 2 years, and that we're relocating our flagship Harvard Square location to the new Abbott building on August 6th and 7th. And that 2-night party is going to be a fundraiser for Bridge Over Troubled Waters and Y2Y. So we're hoping to make a major contribution to Bridge Over Troubled Waters during this 2-day event. There's lots of other things that we've done in the communities we've located, but we also, El Jefes also cares for its staff. We're a great place, especially for first-generation Americans to work. All 4 of the GMs in our Boston and Cambridge locations started out as hourly staff. They're all first-generation Americans, and all of them are now GMs. Lots of the assistant managers and kitchen managers also started out as hourly staff and are now sort of well-paid salaried staff. And even for hourly staff, our average hourly salary is $18 an hour. So it's a good place to work. I mean, in a time when getting staff has been an issue for lots and lots of companies, it's not an issue for us. We get our staff from the friends and family and neighbors and relatives of the people that already work for us. So the third thing I want to say is we also care about our customers a great deal. We provide high quality, affordable, healthy Mexican street food. That's what we do. And we have also tried to stay open when people want us to stay open. And that is why we're petitioning now to increase our hours from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. And as Chris said, the people that are asking us to stay open are first responders, are doctors, nurses, firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, sort of police. They're also students at Northeastern that study late and want someplace to eat after 2 a.m. Our busiest hour of the day at 269 Huntington Avenue is from 1 to 2 a.m. And at 2 a.m. We always have 20, 25 people sort of in line when we close the doors at 2 a.m. And so the reality of people wanting us to be open later, it couldn't be clearer. It's not just from the 2,600 names on the petitions, but it's on the reality of our day-to-day operation. So I guess that's and I guess the last thing I want to say is that that's fine. I'll be available for questions if anybody has any more after this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Tracy. Chairman Joyce, do you have any questions?
I do. How long have you been operating with the 2 a.m. closing at this location?
Since March of 2021, when we opened.
Okay. I don't have any other questions at this time.
Commissioner Sachs or Commissioner Curran?
I don't either. Thank you.
I'll wait for comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. As you heard from the applicant's representation, they spoke and had conversations with a number of local stakeholders such as Northeastern University and local businesses in the area. With that, we'd like to defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Great. And were there any further questions from the board? I know Commissioner Curran, you said you would wait. Okay. All right. With no further comments or questions, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2 has been withdrawn from this morning's agenda by the applicant. Now calling item number 3, Vester Selfie LLC, doing business as Vester, located at 105 West 1st Street in South Boston, has applied for a common victular license to be exercised on the above first floor lobby of an office building, counter service for takeout only, with prep area and storage. Manager Nicole Liu, hours of operation 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
That is me. Thank you.
Great. Morning, Ms. Liu. You may please present your proposal to the board.
Hi, yes. Good morning, everyone, members of the board. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Nicole Liu, and I'm representing 105 West 1st Street. I started Vester Cafe 4 years ago in Kendall Square in Cambridge. This is a female-owned, minority-owned, and female-operated establishment. And I'm thrilled to announce that CRISPR Therapeutics is going to be the new resident at 105 West 1st Street. And their landlord, Tishman Spire, was kind enough to invite us in and be the main food and beverage purveyor on the ground floor of their lobby. It is a takeout only establishment, and we're applying for a common victular with no alcohol, operating Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we're very excited to serve the public, but also, of course, CRISPR Therapeutics as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Chairwoman Joyce, do you have any questions?
Thank you for joining us. I don't have any questions at this time.
Great. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, any questions?
None for me, thank you.
For me, thank you.
Okay. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. Our office did hold a meeting. There were no concerns raised at that meeting, and there was one resident who attended who vocalized their support. With that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Calling item number 4, Dry Dock Coffee LLC, doing business as Render Coffee, located at 2 Dry Dock Ave, has applied for a common victular license to be exercised on the above first floor lobby, counter, prep storage room, and 2 bathrooms. Manager Christopher Dady, hours of operation 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Thank you. I am Christopher Dady with Render Coffee.
Great. Thank you for being here, Mr. Dady. If you could please just present your proposal to the board.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we're applying for a CV license in the cafe of 2 Dry Dock. It's going to be 42 seats, and the hours are going to be 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to be serving coffee, breakfast, such as bagels, and deli sandwiches for lunch. We're not applying for a liquor permit. And yeah, we've been around for 11 years. It's a company that I started with my wife in 2011. And yeah, we take pride in not only our ingredients, we roast our own coffee at our other location, and we serve high quality foods, and we take pride in hiring from our local neighborhoods. And we're proud to say that our starting salary is around $42,000 for counter workers, including 1 week of paid time off. And we are planning on getting healthcare hopefully in the next year or 2 once our expansion is complete. At this time, I have nothing else. I yield back to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman Joyce, do you have any questions?
Thank you for joining us. I don't have any questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do
No
not.
questions from me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. Our office did hold an abutters meeting. No serious concerns were raised by abutters. With that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Great. The board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Calling item number 5, Museum of Fine Arts, doing business as the Museum of Fine Arts located at 465 Huntington Ave, holder of a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Mark Kerwin to Eric Woods, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
Eric Woods.
Great. Good morning, Mr. Woods.
Good morning.
I'll turn it over to Chairwoman Joyce to ask the 4 questions.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Woods. Are you a citizen?
Yes,
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
yes,
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
yes,
Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
yes.
All right, thank you. I don't have any other questions, commissioners, do you?
I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 6, Earl's Restaurant, Boston, Mass, Inc., doing business as Earl's Kitchen and Bar located at 800 Boylston Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Sarah Seghetti to Willie Gray. Attorney Trish Farnsworth. Attorney Farnsworth.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, Attorney Green. Good morning, Chairwoman and members of the board. I'm here on behalf of Earl's Restaurant, the location of the Prudential. And with me is Willie Gray. He is the proposed manager. Mr. Gray has been with Earl since February 2019. He's a Mass resident, a US citizen, tips trained, and in addition, Earl's has its own corporate training of staff. So if you have any questions for Mr. Gray, he'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Attorney. Mr. Gray, I don't see you, but if you could just, oh, there you are. Thank you for joining us today. Just to ask you the final question, are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions. Commissioners, do you?
Nothing further from me. Thank you.
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Calling items 7, 8, and 9, Taste Inc., doing business as Vino Volo, located at Logan Airport Terminal E in East Boston. ABC Wine Bar, doing business as Vino Volo, located at Logan Airport Terminal A in East Boston. And Boss B Wine Bar LLC, doing business as Vino Volo, located at Logan Airport Terminal B in East Boston. Holder of an airport common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Casey Don Yost to Tsuying Chen, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the applicant. With me today is Tsuying Chen, the proposed manager of record. She goes by Shirley. Shirley is a US citizen, a Massachusetts resident, and is familiar with the rules and regulations pertaining to the sale of alcohol. She is tip certified and she has plenty of experience in the food and beverage industry, particularly at Logan Airport, and has also been with this company in the past for 5 years. and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Attorney. And Shirley, thank you for joining us. I'm just going to ask the last final question. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have questions?
I do not, thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Great. Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on these matters, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on items 7, 8, or 9? Board will take these items under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 10, American Airlines Inc. doing business as Admirals Club located at Logan Airport Terminal B in East Boston. Holder of an airport club all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Stacy Rochelle to Susan Namdar, who is present on behalf of the applicant. Is there anybody here on behalf of
Yes.
the Admirals Club? Oh, great.
Yes, I am present. This is Susan Namdar speaking. I'm showing under my employee number. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. We see you now. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Namdar. I'll
Thank
turn
you.
it over to Chairwoman Joyce to ask the 4 questions for manager of record.
Okay.
And thank you for joining us. Are you a citizen?
Yes, I am a U.S. citizen. I currently live in Hull, Massachusetts.
Okay. Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes, I've been a manager for American Airlines for 30 years.
Okay. And are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am, and I am ETIP certified also.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. I have no further questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
I don't either, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Calling item number 11, 563 Boylston Inc., doing business as Whiskey and Wine Back Bay, located at 563 Boylston Street. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to pledge the license and inventory to Rockland Trust Company. Attorney William Kelly, I don't know if I see you with us. Who's present on behalf of the?
Actually, it's Attorney John Meridian. That's a typo. John Meridian, Democracy Law Offices, on behalf of the applicant. Today, I'm asking for approval of the pledge of the license and inventory to Rockland Trust Company from 563 Boylston Inc. The loan was used for acquisition and startup costs. Simple pledge of license and inventory to Rockland Trust, and there are no other changes to the license.
Thank you, Attorney. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling item number 12, New Mission Hill Market Inc., doing business as Fuentes Market and Liquor Store located at 678 Parker Street in Roxbury. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for a change of officers, directors, LLC managers of the corporation. Secondly, has petitioned for a change of stock interest. And lastly, has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Priyan Kumar Patel to Bhavya Patel. Attorney John Meridian. Attorney Meridian.
Thank you again. John Meridian, Democracy Law Offices, on behalf of New Mission Hill Market Inc. There are 3 requests today. One is approve the stock transfer. Priyan Kumar Patel is transferring his stock to Malik Kumar Patel, an existing shareholder. Priyan Kumar Patel is no longer involved in the business. The second request is a change of the director, removing Priyan Kumar Patel as director of the corporation. Mitesh Patel will be the sole director, as already approved. And lastly, a change of the manager to Bhavya Patel. Bhavya is on the call with us. He is a U.S. citizen. He is TIP certified, a Mass resident, and very familiar with alcohol sales regulations. So any questions you may have, I'll welcome those.
Thank you. Mr. Patel, Thank you for joining us today. Just going to clarify the last question. Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for joining us. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
Great. Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 13, Foodies Urban Market LLC, doing business as Foodies Urban Market, located at 1421 Washington Street in Roxbury. Holder of a retail package store wines and malt beverages license, has petitioned for a change of officers, directors, LLC managers of the corporation. Secondly, has petitioned for a change of ownership interest. And lastly, has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Victor J. Leon to Victor G. Leon. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon representing the licensee. I think Victor Leon is signed on with us, although he texted me a few moments ago saying he was having a little difficulty getting in. So if I may proceed without him in case he's not here. As the application referenced, there are a few housekeeping matters due to the unfortunate death of the original owner, Victor J. Leon. This remains a family business, but need to change a few things in light of these circumstances. The first would be to change the manager of record from Victor J. Leon, the father, to Victor G. Leon, the son. Victor is a previously approved manager of record by this board and the ABCC. Second would be a change of LLC manager itself from, again, the father to the son, Victor J. Leon to Victor G. Leon. And then lastly, a change of the sole LLC manager from Victor J. Leon to his wife, Gloria Leon. Other than these changes, no other changes are proposed to operations at the business.
Excuse me. Thank you, attorney. Did you say Victor G. Leon has already been approved by the board?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioners, do you?
None for me, thank you.
No questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thanks.
Thank you.
Calling item 14, S&S Package Store Inc., doing business as Gary's Liquors, located at 655 to 659 VFW Parkway. Holder of a retail packaged all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned for a change of ownership and stock interest of the corporation. Attorney Tom Miller. Attorney Miller.
Thank you, Secretary Green. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty & Miller in Boston. I am joined today by Gary Park, owner of Gary's Liquors S&S Package Store. This is a housekeeping measure to update the license to reflect what has been the longstanding reality in the situation. This was a transfer among family members. Barry Park is now officially transferring his interest in the business to his son, Gary Park. Gary has been actively involved in this business for decades now. This is merely housekeeping. There are no proposed changes to the operations or anything else really. It's just updating the licensing to reflect the reality on the ground.
Thank you, Attorney Miller, and thank you, Mr. Park, for joining us. I don't have any other questions today. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Great, then the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 15, New Jamaica Plain Market, Inc., doing business as Regeros Market, located at 3345 Washington Street in Jamaica Plain. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned for a change in stock interest. Attorney John Meridian. Attorney Meridian.
Sorry, I was on mute. Again, John Meridian, Democracy Law Offices on behalf of the applicant. We're seeking a transfer of stock interest. Jamini Patel is transferring her 30% interest to Sony Patel. There are no other changes to the corporation or the operation of the store.
Thank you, attorney. I don't have any questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling item number 16, Camillo Inc., doing business as Camillo Liquors 3, located at 7 Edgewater Drive in Mattapan, holder of a retail all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to change the location of the licensed business from the above to 544 River Street in Mattapan, consisting of a single floor of commercial retail space, approximately 1,400 square feet with 1 entrance and 2 exits, and a restroom in the rear of the building. Also a basement for storage only. Francisco Camillo, manager, 11 p.m. closing hour, attorney Jen Allen. Attorney Allen.
Hi, thank you very much for your time today. Good morning. I am attorney Jennifer Allen. I represent the Camillos who are also here with me today. We are seeking to move the current location of the package store located at 7 Edgewater Drive to 544 River Street, literally to the building right next door. We seek not to do this on a whim, but because my client's landlord is absentee and has let the store deteriorate to the point where it could become dangerous. Not to mention, it's not aesthetically pleasing for the neighborhood. As a pure leasee with no options to purchase, my client has no obligation or incentive to perform the necessary structural improvements. And with other businesses trying to move in here, including dispensaries with such high rent, the landlord has made it impossible to remain at this current store and they cannot continue being here. Thus, the deterioration here has continued unabated. We have previously come to you with this same request to relocate a few years ago. However, this new location is much better as it's further away from the current location and even further from the Church of the Holy Spirit, thereby also providing a direct net benefit to the church. The prior request to relocate was actually directly across from the church. I have also included pictures that I had submitted with the application for the current location juxtaposed against the existing location and the new, just for your information, so you are able to see that. Mr. Camillo has laid all of the groundwork for this move already. He has a lease in place for this new location with an option to purchase and a copy of which I have included the floor plans that I also sent in with the application. We have had multiple neighborhood meetings with several of the groups. These meetings by and large have been positive, and my clients have tried to address the parking issues and the trash concerns to the best of their ability with the neighborhood. Our many attempts to meet with the church members have been to no avail, and their opposition is strictly personal and irrelevant to the store relocating right next door, exactly 1 store away. For more than a decade, the Camillos have lived and worked in this Edgewater community. He's committed to this community. He uniquely understands that he must give back to those who support his business as well. He has the right character and fitness to support his application, and having owned similar stores in the past in neighborhoods. He has also no violations on this existing license. We've also provided a few other pictures that I had also sent in for the surrounding area, just so you're able to see exactly where we're looking to move. And we had also sent in signatures for support in the community. So I'd just like to thank you for your time and for your support in our package store movement. If you have any questions, they're also here with me today.
Thank you. Attorney Allen, I don't believe I was here the last time this application was before us to move, but it looks to me that it's literally 200 feet away.
Yes, it's exactly, it looks like the building could actually be connected. It's right next door.
Okay.
Yes.
How long has your client been operating at the Edgewater location?
How long has it been?
With my brother, like 13 years.
So about 13 years. 13, 14 years, yes.
And it sounds like you were explaining that the landlord is trying to get another person another operator to operate something different to come in there.
Yes, he doesn't want to renew this lease.
Okay. I don't have any other questions at this time. Commissioner Kerwin or Commissioner Saxon, do you?
Not at this time, thank you.
None right now, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Eric James. I am of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. So the applicant had attended community meetings on March 5th, 2022 with the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council Public Service Committee, April 5th, 2022 with the Edgewater Neighborhood Association, as well as an abutters meeting run by the Mayor's Office on May 17, 2022. At these meetings, residents as well as members of the Church of the Holy Spirit showed concerns regarding the establishment's proximity to an ABCD facility, senior housing, as well as issues with loitering and noise disturbances from patrons of the communal liquors, parking, as well as maintenance issues of the area as well. As there was opposition for the proposal, there was also support shown on the neighborhood association meetings and abutters meetings. The Mayor's Office would like to highlight that the applicant lives in the community and has reached out to continue conversations, as well as agreed to work with all residents and neighboring businesses to help address any issues they may have, including maintenance of the sidewalks, areas around communals, as well as the church grounds. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other elected officials or their representatives who would like to testify on this matter? Okay, we'll open up to general testimony. Is there anybody who would like to testify on this matter who has not yet spoken?
Yes, I would like to testify.
Okay, you may identify yourself and then please do so.
Yes, my name is Damian Hollis. I'm 33. I'm a resident of Mattapan, Mass. I patronize the store Camilo's Liquors. My issue is that I really have no issue. These people have been supportive of the community. I've been supportive of them. They're like a staple in the community, to be honest with you. The issue as far as the parking and the location, I mean, where the store is at right now, the new building is literally adjacent to where the old store is at. I don't understand how that would cause any problems. Parking in Boston has always been an issue, especially with the new designs of the roads. It's made it hard for the people who've lived there for many years to even find somewhere to park in front of their homes. And that's not Camilo's fault at all. The loitering issue, it's a place of business. There's going to be people around in that neighborhood. It's a lively neighborhood. The loitering has nothing to do with Camilo's at all. There's multiple businesses along that River Street. I just find it ridiculous that people try to make it very hard for a family to continue running their business when they have been nothing but supportive in the community.
Thank you, Mr. Hollis. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? I think I saw a hand raised from Reverend Zanetta Armstrong. Reverend Armstrong?
Is it my opportunity now to speak?
Yes, it is.
Yes. As was said, the majority of the residents in Mattapan are low-income families. The church has been in Mattapan for 136 years. We have a personal stake in the community. We have programs to the community. We offer elderly program in the church office, in the church building, a youth program. During the summer, we have a Be Safe program for about 60 kids that meet for 5 weeks on the property that is free to the community. We own the building ABCD, which was constructed to serve the community, and ABCD served the community by offering anti-poverty services. In conjunction with ABCD, we are responsible for the Mattapan Center for Life being directly adjacent on the campus that houses 45 elders. So we have a church, in addition to spreading the gospel, we have certainly invested in the community and have been connected to the community as long as we've been in this site. Now, the church wants to survive as well as the Camilo Liquors, because Camilo Liquors offers a product that the community pays for. The church also exists in a location that's uniquely challenged because of there are about 11 stores that's directly opposite the church with no accommodation for parking. Camilla's store has very little accommodation for any parking, and many of the clients do park in the church lot for all the stores in the area. They also park in the Mattapan Center for Life. The manager that manages the Mattapan Center for Life also manages a church property. And I've had complaints, and I'm one of the board members of the Mattapan Center for Life. So I speak, sir, from experiences for over 30 years. Now, initially, there was not a problem with the Camilla store, but the community has changed. And it's more than a problem of cleaning the sidewalk. I have someone paid to clean the sidewalk. We have spent a significant amount of money on our security because of the change in the neighborhood. We have, several years ago, there was someone who was shot on the church property, and I buried that person in the church because the person is a member of the community. There are people who loiter on the church property, and we constantly pick up bottles, broken bottles on the church property. People go to the bathroom on the church property. I have my people cleaning up mess that people go to the bathroom on the church property. These are the challenges that we are facing every single day. The community knows that that's a problem. Everyone sees that people hangs out on the church property every single day, even on Sundays. Music, loud music. If anyone speaks to them, if anyone asks, there's a sign that says no loitering. Police take notice. We have said there's signs that says private property. And if you speak and ask someone not to park, they are very vulgar in the language and abusive. And so it's a very challenging location, having a supermarket, about 11 stores opposite the church, the liquor store, and ABCD. And there is no accommodation for parking in this whole section. And so, sir, every day there is a challenge. And the people that hang out at the church, there are times when I have had funeral services and had to clean up mess before the service because it was a problem to accommodate. So I'm giving you a graphic problem that we have experienced on the church. Yesterday, I had to call the police because of this problem that we are having with the foot traffic and all the things. So it's not a problem, sir, of cameras. It's a deeper problem with the community. It is a social problem of what is moral values, respect, how to care for the community that we care for. I don't have a solution. I understand Camilla needs to have a business, but the church needs to survive and have invested in this community. Members will not want to bring their children to the church if it's not a safe place, and this continues to be the environment that they have to deal with. The survival of the church is also at stake in the long term. I'm not looking at the short-term solution because it's a deeper problem than a short-term solution. There are absolutely no adequate parking places in Mattapan Square. We are right next to the Mattapan Square, and there's no adequate parking. It's not an easy problem to solve. So
thank you, Reverend. I do see some other folks signed up to speak. Thank you. And we've also received your correspondence. The board will take all of that under advisement, and I will move on down the list for who else has their hands raised. I will just like to add that this is a licensee that already has been approved by this board. So if possible, to frame the testimony about the application before us, which is the relocation of this business next door. That's the application before us, and that is where the testimony should be focused, please. The next hand I see raised is from Janet Sinclair. Ms. Sinclair, you can unmute yourself and testify.
Yes, good morning. My name is Janet Sinclair. I am a resident of Mattapan and also have been a church member, a faithful church member at Church of the Holy Spirit for 25 plus years. I've raised my children in the church, and when church opens again, we'll be bringing my grandchildren to church. And it's been my experience, you know, and even throughout the last 2 years of the pandemic, when the church
can I get 5, please? Thank you.
Has not been open, that, you know, we drive by if we have to go to the church for some reason. And one concern that I have especially is for Reverend Zanetta, who works in the church on a daily basis with other staff members. And should they have to be at the church after dark, they're subjected. And Reverend Zanetta, not just as a person, but as a reverend in the community, should not have to be subjected to, you know, countless people sitting on the wall of the church, drinking, throwing their trash, being verbally abusive to her when she has every right to ask someone to move. And these are the people who are frequenting the liquor store. And don't get me wrong, I am all for people having a business and having a legacy to support and sustain their families. But you also have to understand the church's position and our position as church members when we're trying to do things for the good of the community as well. And there's that conflict. Do you continue to allow, you know, these people to, you know, park it on the wall, you know, 10 hours a day, drinking and carrying on, using profanity when there's elderly people coming in, you know, young people coming in? There's an after school program. You've got kids coming in there. And to have a liquor store in such close proximity to a church, it's, I don't know, it just doesn't sit. And I'm, you know, I understand that the building is only moving next door, but it's created a bigger problem over the years.
Thank you, Ms.
So
Sinclair.
I support Reverend Zanetta in that.
Thank you, Ms. Sinclair. I'll move on to the next person who I see signed up to testify. That is Rosemary Brown. Ms. Brown, you may unmute yourself and testify.
Hello. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Rosemary Brown. I'm also a long-term member of the Mattapan community. I've also been a member of the after-school program at Church of the Holy Spirit, as well as a parishioner. I want to just speak about the location. I want to acknowledge that, yes, the license has already been given, and so we are only talking about moving the location. And though it is next door, it seems like it may not be significant, but it is for several reasons. There's currently another liquor store that is only a 3-minute walk from Camilo's right now. The location being moved, making it more visible to the people that are accessing the after school, which are adolescents and younger children, is being moved closer to a bus stop. We understand that with the disparities that are already in our community related to health, mental health, and also as violence, that having the presence of these types of establishments aren't necessarily helping to that. There's studies and research to support that having that presence, even that visibility, influences and affects our children and our adolescents and the things that are happening within that environment. Many have talked about things that happen around these establishments. So even that change, moving it even 1 minute closer to yet another liquor store and putting less of a gap between them, though researchers say it'd be better to have more space and more gap between these, not having as many within the same proximity. But again, because the license is already there, having them move closer to this location is not helping our neighborhood and our community. And we've done, community members and researchers and coalitions have done the work in the studies to try to figure out how can we improve this by bringing things like after school programs and ABCDs and places to have healthier food options. And so though I support Camilla's as a small business, I think that not allowing the location gives a balance so that the community can continue to address the disparities and issues that we have in the neighborhood, removing that visibility, having it right after the ABCD versus right in front of it will make a difference, even if a slight difference. It will create safety for people who are walking by. If you're able to stay by the bus stop and slightly avoid the patrons of the liquor store versus having them right in front of you, not having a choice, it makes you more uncomfortable. As someone who's had to use the public transportation, who's walked through Mattapan to my home in Mattapan, I want to acknowledge that yes, there are many community members that things are safe, but there is a reality that there are environments that don't make you feel safe, that are creating, making people uncomfortable. And so we can still hold the balance by supporting a small business with them remaining in their location and still upholding the other needs of community members and families. With the new apartment buildings being built at Mattapan, we can see that there is a push to create a change, a different environment for Mattapan Square. So I'd ask the board to take all of the other efforts into consideration and the harm that is not going to be done to Camilla's in remaining where they are versus the harm that can be done in slightly moving them a block closer to a more visible area.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. The next hand I see raised is from Sheila Azores. Ms. Azores, if you could unmute yourself and you may testify.
I'm outside of the area that we are discussing. As you can see, this is the original store where they're operating now, where their landlord, for whatever reason that hasn't been articulated, doesn't want them there any longer. Now, as you can see, I'm walking a few steps. If I count them, it's less than 30 steps to the new location that they are proposing. And you can see directly across the street is the Mattapan Center for Life Senior Housing, a complex part of the church. And as you can see right next to that is the ABCD service center where the little children, below kindergarten age children attend school daily. Now, as you look straight up the street on River Street, less than 2 blocks up River Street is another liquor store. If you were to turn on Blue Hill Avenue, about 100 steps is another liquor store. So my question is, and my request to the board is this: please help the Mattapan community remain a livable community and not a liquor store ghetto. Please allow the liquor store to find another location where they won't have the competition of 2 other walking distance liquor stores. And I thank you for your time. And I hope that when you take this under advisement, that you will help to consider sanctity versus economics. When I say sanctity, our church provides a valuable moral opportunities that are fast being eroded in our society. So I pray that your hearts will help us and decide that this new location is not conducive to city planning for the Mattapan neighborhood. And I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I see a hand raised from Damian Hollis. Mr. Hollis, you've already spoken, so I'm going to move on to the next hand, which is Marie Gustav. Ms. Gustav, you may unmute yourself and then please, you may testify.
It's unmuted. Good morning. My name is Marie Gustav. And I live in the neighborhood and I don't see a problem with them being in the location they are. They talk all this rah-rah about the church. Half the people in the church sometimes are the ones who causing a lot of problems they do ruckus too. They drink and stuff that, you know, after church, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, why are you trying to deny someone their way of living? You know, they're just trying to make a living. They're not bothering anybody. What people don't understand is the landlord where they are does not want to do any renovations, and he doesn't give them the opportunity to buy the building. And they have the opportunity next door, and I think they should take it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see another hand raised from Austin Harris. Mr. Harris, you may unmute yourself and testify.
Good morning, board. I am a Mattapan resident as well, and I, like the last person, don't see an issue with them moving. It's literally, like you said, 30 steps away or something. So it more sounds like them trying to deny a place of business the opportunity to, you know, continue because they want to change the way the community looks. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. I also see a hand raised from Lorna Flowers Miller. Ms. Flowers Miller, you may unmute yourself and testify.
Good afternoon, or good morning, sorry. I am also a member of the Church of the Holy Spirit and have been for over 29 years. And I just, in addition to supporting every point that Reverend Zanetta has made, Ms. Sinclair, Rosemary, and Sheila have made, I also want to respond to what Marie said about after church and the church members. Church members, absolutely, I'm sure, drink in their own private setting, or it is their private business. But I do want to address the point that she just made, that it's usually the church members causing the ruckus in the parking lot after church. I am usually one of the last members to leave the church premises because I volunteer in programs that sometimes end way after church, and that is not accurate. Many times I have been the last one, as many members on this meeting are, the last ones leaving the church lot. There is no ruckus happening after church is finished. People get in their cars, they leave. What Ms. Marie said about, you know, I guess she's witnessed something that I haven't witnessed in the last 29 years that I've been a member of that church, where there's ruckus after church, whether it's during the week for after school programs, during the summer when there's summer camp there for children in the community, of which my children have been a part of. And I have witnessed the aggressive behavior from the folks sitting on the wall. And could they be patrons of other businesses? Absolutely. But most of the time they have either a liquor bottle, which makes us believe possibly that it could be coming from Camilo's. They could have gotten it down the street, but they congregate right in front of the church for our children to be visibly seeing that kind of behavior, which, as Rosemary stated, there's research that speaks about the damage that does to the youth and to communities like the community of Mattapan. Thank you.
Thank you. That is the last hand I see raised. Was there anybody else who has not yet testified who wanted to do so?
Yes, my name is Reverend Harry, an associate rector at the Church of the Holy Spirit, working alongside of Reverend Zineta. Many occasions, I am really scared for Reverend Zineta. Well, she always park on the back. Even me, I park in the front, and I've been aggressed by people who are sitting in front of the church, at the entrance of the church with liquor store. And when I ask them to move, they've been very rude to me. And when I enter the church with my phone, first it making like I'm going to call the police, and they move away. You know, so they throw the bottles where they sit in front of the church. It's a problem of safety. Myself, when I have to leave the church around 8 or 9 p.m., I am scared of going out, and I have to watch and see and go in my car. So it's a safety issue for people that are leaning or sitting on the front of the church, and the people that are sitting on the front by the door of the entrance of the church. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. I do see another hand raised from Jean Jacobs. Ms. Jacobs, you may unmute yourself and testify. Ms. Jacobs, are you looking to testify? Your hand is raised. Okay.
She might be muted.
She is. I've asked her to unmute a couple times now. Okay, we will move on then. Is there anybody else who has not yet testified who wish to do so on this item?
Am I able to add anything for comments right now?
Absolutely. I was going to turn to either you or the board afterwards to ask further questions or to add anything after the testimony. So you certainly may.
Thank you. I'd just like to comment about a few of the issues and testimonies here today regarding some of the issues in the neighborhood. Again, we have been trying to meet with the church and work with them. My client has offered to pay for trash being picked up and cleaned up around the church. He even offered to put up a fence if that would make things around the church to make them more comfortable. To work with them, they're also open late, you know, he's contacted the police in that surrounding neighborhood to ensure the safety. Unfortunately, not being able to move the liquor store right next door, which you saw how close it was, is not going to rectify all of the church's issues. But my client, again, wants to work with them long-term and has offered, you know, to whatever he could do to help in rectifying those issues, whether it's calling the police when they see something wrong, helping with the trash pickup. As for the visibility of the store, right now the church, and I've sent in pictures, but the church is actually on a corner where two streets split. So people going by, there's actually more visibility where we are now versus if we move right down next door, which it's then only on one street versus having access to the multiple streets when people are walking by. So again, if we would be more than happy to defer a vote if the Reverend was willing to meet with us in the community, but it appears, I don't believe that she is willing to do that. So if we have to continue this process, unless you'd like to speak on that, but we have done everything we can to offer to work with them and take care of all of those issues. And my client has also hired somebody and even goes out there himself to pick up trash on in his front of his store, down the road, and everywhere else. Again, the parking, he's been in existence for 14 years. We're not looking to come in with a new location that's going to bring more traffic or anything like that as well. So, thank you.
I'd like to respond, if I may, Reverend Armstrong.
Yes, briefly.
Yes, briefly. I pay someone to clean the sidewalk and everything. Someone is paid to do that. That has not changed the problem. And as I said before, we have security measures. That has not changed the problem. I'm willing to, and there is no, to my knowledge, I'm willing to speak with Camilo Liquors, but there's nothing to provide some sort of accountability that they will long-term keep a promise, an agreement to do anything.
I think that's where I can jump in as chair of the board for a second. Attorney Allen, would you, should this license transfer be granted, the board would like to see a security and operations plan that includes what their plan would be for picking up litter, what their plan would be for loitering, what their staffing plan would be. This is something that we're seeing in other neighborhoods in the city too. We're not just asking your client to do it. We're asking other owners of liquor stores where neighbors are sharing similar requests about sharing similar stories about issues that impact their quality of life. We're asking the owners to put together a security and operations plan for us. So I think the board would be very interested in seeing that in writing as soon as possible.
Perfect. We can definitely do that. Yes.
Thank you. Are there any further comments or questions from the board? Great. At this time, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you all. Now calling item number 17 on this morning's agenda, McCormick and Schmidt Restaurant Corp. doing business as McCormick and Schmidt Seafood Restaurant located at 300 Faneuil Hall Marketplace. Holder of a common Vehicular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Fan Hall MV Restaurant LLC doing business as Margaritaville at the same location. Jeremy Ward, manager, closing hour 2 a.m. Secondly, has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed business from main entrance on ground floor in 2 rooms for dining, 1 with bar and kitchen, with seasonal outdoor patio on 2nd floor in 2 rooms for dining, service bar, in basement in 1 room for dining and kitchen storage and office, capacity breakdown, basement 67, ground floor 117, 2nd floor 112. 2, the premise is located at 300 Faneuil Hall, aka South Market Street, main entrance on ground floor in 2 rooms for dining, 1 with bar and kitchen, with seasonal March to November outdoor patio, 2,666 square feet on private property with 126 seats and a closing hour of 12 a.m. On 2nd floor in 3 rooms for dining, tiki bar, in basement in 1 room for dining and kitchen storage and office. Capacity breakdown, basement 67, ground floor 117, 2nd floor 112. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the applicant. I am joined by Attorney Devlin, the operations manager, Sherry Young, and the proposed manager of record, Jeremy Ward. This is a transfer of license and alteration of premises from McCormick and Schmidt located at 300 Faneuil Hall, also known as 4S Market Street. This is a joint venture between Margaritaville and the landlord to revitalize his property and space, to which has been a restaurant for many years. Most recently, it was McCormick and Schmidt, so the public need is established at this site. The applicant is a chain establishment with 30 other restaurants countrywide. The restaurant serves American and Caribbean inspired meals and beverages, and also retail sales of Margaritaville themed shirts and gifts. The total investment in this property is over 7 figures, and they are keeping the same footprint, but just remodeling the interior from frame to finish to convert its space into its themed style of the Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville that we've all seen. The proposed outdoor patio is on private property. The applicant seeks to have this patio licensed seasonally from March through November. It has 126 seats and proposed closing hour of 12 a.m. We worked with Sierra Tamika at the mayor's office and neighborhood services on this matter. There were no neighborhood groups we were required to meet with. We did hold an abutters meeting on March 21st. We sent out notice to 188 abutters and no objections were raised. The proposed manager of record, Jeremy Ward, is a U.S. citizen, a Massachusetts resident, and is familiar with the rules and regulations pertaining to the sale of alcohol. He is tip certified and has over 10 years of experience in the food and beverage industry. The restaurant is almost ready to open, and they'd appreciate the board's use of its discretion in this matter. And we're here to answer any additional questions you may have.
Thank you. Mr. Ward, are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. There you are. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioners, do you?
I do not. Thank you.
I do not either. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment from the board. As you heard from the applicant, they did extensive community outreach despite simply being a transfer. This area also has a high number of bars and other restaurants. So with that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Fling's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 18, Grand 10 Distilling LLC, doing business as Grand 10 Distilling, located at 383 Dorchester Ave in South Boston. Holder of a farmer distillery pouring permit has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Royal 10 LLC, doing business as Royal 10 at the same location. Matthew Nernberger, manager, closing hour 12 a.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
I am Matthew Nernberger. Welcome, or thank you for welcoming me to the board this morning. I'm very excited to be here. So we are switching our farm distiller's permit license for permit from Grand 10 Distilling to Royal 10 Distilling. I will still be manager of Royal 10 Distilling, so the same manager in place and the board appointed manager. We have reached out to the neighborhood group, Andrew Square Community, and they support the move, the transfer. Everything else will stay the same. We'll still keep the 12 a.m. closing hours and continue to be open 4 days a week.
Thank you for joining us. And since you're already approved by the manager, as a manager of record by the board, I don't have any of those questions to ask you. Commissioners, do you have any other questions?
I do not, thank you.
No questions from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 19, Select Restaurants Inc., doing business as Top of the Hub, located at 800 Boylston Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Boqueria Fort Point LLC, doing business as Boqueria Tapas Bar and Restaurant, located at 25 Thompson Place. Premise consists of approximately 4,882 square feet restaurant of 1 floor of building, main dining room with seating for 138 with bar in center, kitchen at rear, restrooms. Jessica Winford, manager, hours of operation, Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Attorney Trish Farnsworth. Attorney Farnsworth.
Good morning again, Attorney Trish Farnsworth with Lawson and Whiteson, Madam Chair and members of the board. We are here for Boqueria, which is a transfer of an all alcohol license from the former Top of the Hub, which has been closed for some time now. And so the license will transfer over to 25 Thompson Place over in the Fort Point district. With me this morning is Jessica Ray Winford, the proposed manager, and also from Boqueria is Michael Gervais, the chief operating officer, and Simone Careja, the new restaurant opening director. Just by way of background, and I think we did submit some menus, but the restaurant is a authentic classic Spanish restaurant, paella, tapas. Their beverage program is Spanish. They were founded by Jan de Rochefort in 2006. He grew up or spent a lot of his youth in Spain, specifically Barcelona area, and he resides in New York. He now has 4 restaurants in New York City, 2 in DC, 1 in Chicago, and 1 in Nashville. So that's 8 that they currently operate, and this will be the 9th. They've been looking to come to Boston for some time, and we're lucky enough to find this location over in Fort Point. I think it definitely adds to the current offerings over there. There are some other Mexican and Latin restaurants, but nothing that's, you know, really Spanish focused. And in this design as well, high tables, you know, it's really a sharing kind of a restaurant. It's 150 seats. There's no outdoor seating here, and would be lunch and dinner. It's a mixed use building, office space above. There would be no live entertainment. The proposal would be, you know, just the background music. And the opening is targeted for February, March 2023. We did meet with Fort Point Neighborhood Association last evening. I think they were very enthusiastic about the concept and this restaurant coming. You know, they're always looking for new restaurants, you know, to really, this is a great neighborhood, and they're very enthusiastic. And they actually even suggested that we should open for longer hours. They even, some members suggested. So we actually put in the application 11 to 11, Monday through Saturday, and Sunday 10 p.m. But after meeting with that Fort Point neighborhood group and also looking at the surrounding restaurants and their closing hours, we would, I think, ask that, or we would for a midnight closing hour. All other of the 8 restaurants are in cities, in neighborhoods, so they know how to operate, at this location, and they really will be an addition. I do know that Office of Neighborhood Services, we had reached out to them, and they did ask us Monday to hold an abutter meeting, which we're scheduled for July 11th. And we can certainly do that, and I defer to you if you want to defer the vote until then, but we're planning on certainly doing an abutter meeting. So if you have any questions, or if you want to hear more about the concept, or we do have folks on here.
Thank you, Attorney. You said they're not planning on opening until 2024, correct?
2023.
Oh, 2023, sorry, yeah. It's only 2022.
That's okay.
Is the manager of record here, Jessica?
Yes, I'm right here.
Thank you for joining us. Are you a citizen?
Yeah.
You're a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the rules and regs of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions at this point. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxton, do you?
No, thank you.
Just one clarifying question about the closing time. Were you asking for midnight for all 7 days, or just for the weekdays?
I think we would ask for midnight because that's what the hours are of the local ones. We would just want to maintain it all the same.
Thank you. Any further questions from the board? Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, we'd like to defer to the board, but as you heard from the applicant's representation, we do have an abutters meeting scheduled for July 11th. We don't envision any concerns. I understand there was really great feedback from the local civic association, the Fort Point Neighborhood Association, but just to fully complete the community process, if you were to defer the vote, it would work nicely. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. We would like to go on record in support, but it would be great if the board deferred the votes until after the community process is complete. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. And Attorney Farnsworth, please do submit a revised application with the hours you're requesting for the board.
Yes, will do.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 20, JJ Foley's Fireside Tavern, Inc., doing business as Foley's Fireside Tavern, located at 30 Hyde Park Ave in Jamaica Plain. Holder of a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Frago Restaurant SB LLC, doing business as Shybird, located at 12 Old Colony Ave, aka 10 to 50 Old Colony Ave in South Boston. Premise consists of 3,244 square feet in one main room, seating for 80, on ground floor with kitchen and storage in rear. Main entrance exits on Old Colony Ave. 1,300 square feet year-round outdoor seating on private property, seating for 70, weather permitting. Patio closing hour midnight. Eli Feldman, manager, closing hour 1 a.m. Secondly, has petitioned to pledge the license to SB Gateway 2 LLC. And just for the record, this board has already found public need for this licensee and at this location. The application before us today is for now a transfer of this license. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning again, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon representing the applicant. Signed on with us this morning are Andrew Holden and Eli Feldman, who are the co-owners of Shybird, Eli being the proposed manager of record for this location as well. By way of background, and as Attorney Green stated, the board did hear an application from this applicant back in December for a new all alcohol beverage license, which the board found public need for. at this location pending availability of one for which they qualify. Since that time, while no license from the city has become available, the applicant has since been presented with the opportunity to purchase a license for this location, which is the application before you today. I certainly defer to the board if you'd like me to proceed with a presentation or incorporate by reference the testimony and supportive documentation presented in support of an all alcohol beverage license at the previous hearing for this applicant. The only difference with this application, as the legal ad indicated, is a pledge of the license to a private lender, SB Gateway 2. Otherwise, all operational details that were previously indicated back in December are exactly the same for this location.
Thank you, Attorney. We're tracking the reasons for licenses being pledged. Could you share with us the reason for this pledge?
It's part and parcel to purchase the liquor license.
Okay. And has Mr. Feldman already been approved as a manager?
He was at the last hearing.
So I thought. I don't have any other questions then, Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon.
I don't either. Thank you.
No questions from me. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I will see if there are any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives.
Good morning,
Yes.
Madam. Sorry.
Yes, Madam
go
Chair,
ahead,
members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, I'd like to defer judgment to the board. As you heard from the applicant's representation, previously they went through a community process and were approved by the board back in December. With that, we defer to the board. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 21, Highland Tap of Boston, Inc., doing business as Aga's, located at 2128 Washington Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to GRNA GRB of Mass LLC, doing business as Gordon Ramsay Burger, located at 111 North Street. Premise consists of a full-service restaurant on 2 levels. First floor, 3,851 square feet with 3 dining areas, bar, kitchen, storage, and restrooms. Second level with 676 square feet of interior space, containing internal staircase, elevator, and service station, and a seasonal March to November 1,811 square foot outdoor terrace on private property with dining, bar, and lounge and seating for 89. Outdoor terrace hours no later than 11 p.m. Alcohol service from 11 a.m. on Sundays. Patrick Glenn Furmander, manager, general hours of operation, 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Attorney Eugene Richard. Attorney Richard.
Thank you, Attorney Green. Madam Chair, members of the board, Eugene Richard here for the applicant, and the proposed manager, Patrick Furmander, is on as well. There may be some other officers and employees as well. Gordon Ramsay Burger is a new to Boston restaurant concept by the well-known celebrity chef, Gordon Ramsay. The Gordon Ramsay Group has approximately 36 restaurants worldwide, including about 1/3 of those in North America, and including a sister restaurant, Ramsay's Kitchen, that opened in the Mandarin Hotel this past January, is doing well. This restaurant will be in a beautiful 2-level indoor-outdoor space in the Canopy Hotel by Hilton at the edge of the North End and area there. The menu will be somewhat limited, but basically classic burgers, hot dogs, shakes or fraps, as well as obviously the alcohol, assuming approval. All this in a fun, casual atmosphere, approximately 200 seats, a little less than 200. The proposed manager, Mr. Furmander, has years of restaurant experience in Massachusetts. He will respond in the affirmative to the other questions asked of managers, but I would state to the board the intent is to come back while the restaurant is meant to open before the end of this year, but later in the year. And our intent is to come back with, once the restaurant is being staffed up, with another manager. So with that introduction and any questions, pending any questions, we'd ask your approval.
Is Mr. Furman,
Yes, Mayor.
do you mind putting your camera on?
Absolutely.
I'm just going to ask the four questions we ask everyone who's being approved to the best of your ability. If you could answer them. Are you a citizen?
Yes.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes.
You've experienced in the food and beverage industry.
Yes.
Do you have familiarity with our rules and regs of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have any questions, commissioners. Do you?
I do not. Thank you.
None from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. Some background information on the community process. The Mayor's Office held a butters meeting on May 23rd. The applicant also connected with the NURA and received a letter of non-opposition, which I believe we shared with the board. They were unable to meet with NUNIC, NEWNC. At this time, our office would like to defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 22, Csdm Corp. Doing business as the Wine Shop located at 370 Western Ave in Brighton. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to 370 Western Ave Wild Duck Inc. Doing business as the Wild Duck at the same location. Chaldea manager, closing hour 11 p.m. Lastly, has petitioned to pledge the license and inventory to Rockland Trust Company. Attorney John Meridian. Attorney Meridian.
John Meridian, Democracy Law Offices, on behalf of the applicant, 370 Western Ave Wild Duck Inc. They've entered into a purchase and sale agreement with Csdm Corp. To buy the liquor store known as a wine shop at 370 Western Ave. It's located within the Star Market grocery store. We're seeking today approval of transfer of the license, approval of Chaldea Patel's manager of record, and a pledge of the license and inventory to Rockland Trust Company. Rockland Trust is financing the transaction. It's going to be the same operation, same liquor store. The only change will be the DBA name to Wine Shop. 11 p.m. closing hour remains, and there's no change to the store footprint or anything like that. Same size. Chaldea Patel is with me on the call. I just saw him on the call somewhere. He is a U.S. citizen. He is a Mass resident. He will be tip certified prior to closing, and he is familiar with the rules of the ABCC, the City of Boston, for alcohol sales. With that, any questions you may have, but simply a business ownership transfer, no other changes.
And the reason for the pledge?
Acquisition costs, financing the transaction for Rockland Trust Company for the purchase price.
I have no further questions. Commissioner Curran, Commissioner Saxon, do you?
I do not. Thank you.
No questions from me, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 23 has already been approved by this board. It is only on the agenda today to clear a legal defect in the advertisement that went out. No action required by the board. I do believe the applicant is with us. Should the board have any questions? Great. Seeing none, the board will move on to item number 24, Delta Airlines Inc. doing business as Delta Sky Club located at Logan Airport Terminal E in East Boston. Has applied for a club airport all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above. Approximately 3,506 square feet of lounge space on a single floor located in Terminal E of Logan Airport with 81 seats, reception area, dining and buffet area, pantry storage, restrooms, 1 entrance and 2 exits. Manager Rebecca Basilla, closing time 2 a.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Madam Chair, board members. Joe Devlin from the firm of Upton, Cannell and Devlin. Rebecca Basila is also present. I think she is the 060383 number, and I'm right because she's smiling. Wait, you can wave for us, Rebecca, and say hi. You just have to unmute yourself. Rebecca is the proposed manager of record for this new Sky Club in the international terminal of Logan Airport. You've heard me here before talking about the expansion plans for Delta and Massport at Logan. This is part of it. This is a club that is currently or was just until very recently operated as sort of an independent club run by Sodexo. It has a liquor license covering it. They had to turn in that license in order for us to be able to apply here. They are taking over this club as is, so there are no changes at this time. In the next year or so, we will be coming back in for an alteration to the premises to make it look consistent with all the other Sky clubs. I also found out after the application was submitted that I think this is a minor change, but this is actually going to be called the Delta Sky Club Express until we actually do the renovations. I wasn't sure if that was worthy of making the change, but I do note that here. When we do come back in, it will be a Delta Sky Club. Rebecca is a U.S. citizen. She's a Mass resident. She's familiar with the rules and regulations of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the City of Boston for the service of alcoholic beverages. She is actually the manager of record already for the location in Terminal A, which we were here for in the last year for a renovation there. She's the Delta Airlines Operations Service Manager at the airport. I think that covers it. There was $82,000 spent in cosmetic updates, but there's no major changes yet. Thank you.
And thank you for covering all that. I don't have any questions. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. And so just to clarify, Attorney Devlin, so for the time being, the DBA will be Delta Sky Club Express?
Yes.
Okay, if you could please just submit a revised application with that DBA.
Will do.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oops, sorry. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Item number 25 has been withdrawn by the applicant. Now calling item number 26, Los Arieros Restaurant Inc. doing business as Los Arieros Restaurant located at 13 Meridian Street in East Boston has applied for a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above. Premises is a 1,020 square foot restaurant on the first floor of the building, seating for 39. Basement is utilized for storage purposes. Manager Felix Ospina. Closing time 12 a.m. Attorney Andrew Upton. Attorney Upton.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the applicant. With me is Felix Ospina, the owner, and his son, Antonio Ospina. Los Arieros currently has a beer and wine license, and they are seeking to upgrade to cordials. They'd like to be able to serve cocktails as guests are frequently asking for them. There is a public need demonstrated by the neighborhood support, the abutters support, and a petition signed by 171 people. We held an abutters meeting on May 10th, to which there were no objections. And we also met with the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association on May 17th. The character and fitness of the applicant is very strong. They have been a part of this neighborhood for a long time now, and they have been operating under a beer and wine license for over 20 years without any problems. All of the staff is TIPS trained. And I'd just like to turn it over to Anthony Ospina just to say a few words on behalf of the family and restaurant. And we're happy to answer any additional questions you may have.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us. I am here with my father, Antonio Ospina. We've been in the community for, like she said, over 25 years now. Happily been able to take care of our clients, seeing the change in the neighborhood and our customers asking for more cocktails and things of that sort. We'd like to upgrade our license. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer.
Thank you. Felix, have you already been approved as the manager of record by this board?
Good. If we've been approved by who, I'm sorry?
Is Felix currently the manager of record on this liquor
Yes.
license?
Yeah.
How long have you had the beer and wine license at this location?
25 years.
About 25 years. I don't have any other questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
I do not either. Thank you.
And sorry, just to clarify, Attorney Pisano, did you say that they're applying for a cordials license or for an all alcohol license?
Cordials.
Okay, the application before us today is for an all alcoholic beverages license.
I'm sorry. It's an update to all alcohol. I'm so sorry.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that. So currently they have a malt wine license and the application today is for a new 7-day all alcoholic beverages license.
Yes, it's for a 7-day all alcohol. Correct.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Nope, that is very helpful. Thank you. Any further questions from the board before I turn it over to testimony? No, okay. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Natalia Benitez with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant met with the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association on May 17th, for which Los Arieros received full support. Our office hosted an abutters meeting on May 10th and no abutters was in attendance. We have not received any letters in opposition regarding this proposal. At this moment, we would like to defer all judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Calling item number 27, Mexicali Sushi Bar, Inc., doing business as Mexicali Sushi Bar, located at 199 Sumner Street in East Boston, has applied for a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages license to be exercised on the above approximately 900 square feet in one main room, seating capacity 25, kitchen and rear, basement for offices and storage. Hours of operation Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. Manager Roberto Trujillo, closing time 2 a.m. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning again, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon for the applicant. Signed on with us this morning is Roberto Trujillo, who is the owner and proposed manager of record for this license. By way of background, Mexicali opened in December of 2019, right before COVID. It is a small neighborhood dining destination with only 25 seats. And for those of you unfamiliar with the concept, which frankly I was when I first learned of it, Mexicali sushi is a bigger version of regular sushi. However, it's not prepared with anything raw. Everything is cooked, typically utilizing steak, shrimp, and chicken with a variety of spices and often cooked tempura style. Most rolls are actually 2 to 3 times the size of your traditional Japanese sushi that you would get. The food falls a bit into the comfort food category and is stuffed with things that you would typically find in perhaps a taco or a burrito. If granted this beer and wine license, they would offer a mixture of craft beers, Mexican and domestic brands, and a mix of red, white, and rosés, and would love to be able to have the opportunity to make homemade sangrias to offer their customers. Their hours of operation right now are 9 to 11 p.m., Monday through Thursday and Friday through Sunday until 2 a.m. And again, their seats are only 25 seats in the restaurant. As far as public need is concerned, and because of the sheer size of this place with only 25 seats, it makes little financial sense for the applicant to purchase a license. This is exactly the type of license applicant in mind with the intent of the legislation that originally created the neighborhood restricted licenses, which I know I've mentioned in previous hearings with other applicants. The location for this license is appropriate. It's just around the corner from the newer Clipper Ship development site, which is transforming this neighborhood with hundreds of new residential units plus mixed use retail. While there are a few restaurants located within a few blocks of Mexicali, there's an Italian restaurant, a pizzeria, American restaurant, a Mexican restaurant. There's only a handful of them that have all alcohol beverage licenses, and I don't believe any in the nearest vicinity from what we've reviewed have a beer and wine license. As previously mentioned, this is a very unique food concept that doesn't exist in the neighborhood or all of Boston, might not exist anywhere in the state of Massachusetts. And as a matter of fact, there's not even currently a traditional sushi establishment in East Boston either. So it's something that really provides a unique restaurant and atmosphere to folks in the neighborhood. And despite only opening a few months before COVID began, they've not only survived, but thrived in this location, garnering a loyal customer base as evidenced by the numerous support letters that the board received in support of this application. Definitely looking forward to elevating this unique neighborhood restaurant and being able to offer folks a glass of wine or beer. The focus remains on the food. There's no bar, for instance, in the small restaurant, but a license definitely helps both the patron and the business with both enhancing the dining experience and offering a business, and the ability to provide customers with not a cocktail, but a beer or a glass of wine. As far as community outreach is concerned, we did have a ONS sponsored a Butters meeting. We did meet with the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association, who was supportive of this proposal. I believe the board has that letter as well. Plus, again, the dozens of support letters received from nearby restaurants and customers who love the establishment and would love to continue to see it thrive and enjoy a beverage with their meal. That being said, happy to answer any questions or concerns the board might have.
Thank you. The manager of record, has he been approved by the board before?
He has not.
Is he here?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Trujillo?
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Madam
Thanks.
Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt. I will be translating for Mr. Trujillo, if that's okay.
Sure.
Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you. Are you a citizen of the United States?
¿Eres ciudadano de los Estados Unidos?
Yes.
Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
¿Eres residente de Massachusetts?
Yes.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
¿Tienes experiencia en la industria?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of our board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
¿Tienes conocimiento de las leyes y regulaciones por el estado de Massachusetts en cuestiones de licor?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I have no further questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not, thank you.
I do not either. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Natalia Benitez with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant met with the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association on April 19th, for which Mexicali obtained unanimous support. Our office hosted a Butters meeting on May 3rd, and no butter was in attendance. Our office also received 9 letters of support from customers and no opposition at all. At this moment, our office would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Oh, I see a hand raised from a Justin Fighton. You may unmute yourself and testify.
Hi, I'm a resident of East Boston and a patron of the establishment. I just wanted to vocalize my support.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And calling item number 28, El Barrio MX LLC, doing business as El Barrio Mexican Grill, located at 809 to 811 Harrison Ave in Roxbury, has applied for a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above, approximately 850 square feet on the ground floor of a freestanding building with 2 spaces, as one located 809 to 811 Harrison Ave. Restaurant is an open concept fast casual restaurant with 22 seats. The restaurant contains a kitchen and 1 bathroom. There is 1 entrance and 2 exits, 350 square feet of space in the basement of the building, utilized as locked, dry, and paper goods storage. Hours of operation, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days per week. Manager, Jonadri Vasquez, closing time 11 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant? Oh, Mr. Vasquez, great.
Yeah, I'm here, Joan Vasquez. So, yes. So, thank you, members of the board, for allowing me to be here today. I'm looking for this license because it's being requested by our customers. You know, we across from the BMC, and most of them, when they go to eat, they ask us like, you guys have maybe beer, maybe wine, maybe, you know, we want a margarita. We don't want to have to walk all the way up to, either they have to go to the Inc block, or either they have to go to Washington Street to either get one of those drinks. And mostly for us, I think, and for them too, it would be a great pair with our foods. You know, we are actually the only Latin owned restaurant in the whole strip of Harrison Avenue. So I think with that there, with that food and bringing some of these drinks that we also do, we also have another location in Dorchester that we sell the beer, we sell margaritas and stuff like that. So I think that that would complement their meals.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us today. Mr. Vasquez, are you a citizen?
Yes, I am.
Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
Yes.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes.
And are you familiar with our rules and regulations and the ABCC's rules and regulations and the laws of the Commonwealth having to do with the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I have no questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not. Thank you.
None from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, guys.
That concludes this morning's hearing. Those are all the items before the board today. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.